Afternoon, how are we doing?
Very good.
Oh, look at the spin on the white.
Gee. Not something we're used to seeing from Neil. And he has been punished for that. Not a ball gone down. Looks good. Looks like... Oh my. How good was that to watch?
He must have come right across the cue ball there.
I'm sure somebody technical will be able to explain that. It's a little bit like, you know, when you see alloy wheels on a car.
Yeah.
And they're spinning very fast, so they look like they're going backwards.
Yeah. Is it something to do with the frame rate? Maybe some technical expert can give us some guidance on that.
It will be something to do with that, yeah. You're not getting an explanation out of our producer, I don't think.
No.
But wow.
Yeah, first chance to Dom after that break. Got a little bit of work to do. Yeah, it's difficult to see from his camera whether we can get through to that potting angle of the bottom red.
Dom absolutely flying earlier this morning. Got rid of Jordan Shepherd by 7 frames to 2 quite quickly. He'll be hoping to carry that form on against Neil Raybone.
Yeah, when Dom gets going, he's a very difficult player to stop when he's got that confidence, and he does look very confident at the minute.
You're in already. I told you were established as a commentator. Hey? You've been past it.
That's it, I'm going to keep my mouth shut for the rest of the match now.
I was sat with Shane Thompson, who says, "No, I don't believe it. I don't believe it." Well, I don't know, after a few years I'm starting to think maybe there's some truth in it.
It happens too often, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah, I mean, that was a tough shot for Dom, but it gives Neil an opportunity. Perhaps wasn't expecting.
Neil been around a very, very long time. Always one of the most consistent players. Gets put in that brand where, you know, you never see him below sort of 90%, do you?
Yeah, he's very experienced playing. Like you said, when you play Neil, you know that you're always going to get a level out of him. He never seems to have a bad game, you know. And yeah, he's obviously a very capable player. One that you perhaps would have expected to see in the last stages a bit more, maybe. I don't want to be too harsh on him, but
yeah, certainly, you know, him and, you know, the semi-finalist we're going to see later on, Sean Chipperfield. I mean, Sean's obviously picked up silverware in the doubles, but not an individual event as far as I know. Neil Raybone, same, just not picked up silverware, but it's just so difficult.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it says more. I think it's less about the players, more just how difficult these events are.
Absolutely.
You know, the standard of the player is so high that to have players like Neil Raybone and Sean Chipperfield that haven't got their hands on individual silverware, I think speaks volumes for how difficult it is to win one of these events.
Little mistake though, with a touch more side on that cue ball to bring it over to the left hand side cushion. Can he see enough just to chop this back up into the top? That said, it, you know, if he does play this shot, he needs to miss the red next to the 8. Well, can use the cushion and go in off the red, so he's able to hit it a little bit thinner if needed. Didn't need the cushion. Has he had any luck? No. Is there a cushion red available here? I mean, the red's a long way away from the pocket, but
I think that's all he's got, to be fair. I think, I mean, it was a great pot. Perhaps a little bit unlucky that if that red come out a bit more, the yellow would have gone, but it must be tight. He's having a good look at this. Is he potting this direct?
I didn't think it went. Maybe just sneaking off the near jaw. Well, that would have gone if he'd played it slowly.
Yeah, it did go.
I think maybe Neil, like a lot of players, feels he might lose accuracy when you roll balls. Not many players are very confident in just rolling a ball.
Yeah, I think in an ideal world you always want to play every shot sort of positively,
Absolutely.
giving it a strike rather than sort of dolly them in. But like I said, if he only had maybe half a pocket, maybe that was an instance where you have got to play the softer shot, just to give it every chance of going in. Maybe he was conscious with the cue ball as well, getting it as far over as he could to his last yellow easier. Tom's going to look at playing a loss of turn here and hide that cue ball. Yeah, played it as a two-way shot there with the skill shot.
This isn't good. Well, he's okay, he's got a shot, but it should have been a lot easier than this.
Yeah, just didn't quite get the pace of that cue ball. He's got to. You still expect him to get this, but he's got to watch that yellow now.
Yeah, I actually think the yellow helped him a little bit. Is it going to sneak in? No. And bringing that yellow out has given Neil Raybone another bite at the cherry for the first frame.
Yeah, I thought that red was going to drop then. It thought about it and just didn't quite have enough on it. An edgy first frame.
Yeah. An unusual one. You don't mind if you win them though, do you?
No, definitely not.
Take them any way they come. And again there, just a little bit loose for the cue ball.
Yeah, he's still got... I mean, you'd expect a player of Neil's calibre to get this, but it is missable. He's got to give it full concentration.
In the heart. Played a good recovery pot. And that was all she wrote. Very clinical. Looked good. It's one of the hardest things though, is just taking that form match after match after match. And that's what's been so impressive about the guys that have had massive success at Ultimate Pool. You know, back to Mick, Shane, Stevie, Tom. Them guys, you can just do it round after round after round after. You know, so you have a few hours off in the middle, don't you? And
yeah.
It's not easy sort of bringing that form and keeping it while you have a break and a rest in your room.
Yeah, I think the consistency is definitely a big factor in if you want to go far in these tournaments. You've got to be able to perform match after match, and like you say, sometimes you might have a few hours in between, and you've got to be able to switch off and then switch back on again. I think that's a lot. That's part of the difference between these top players. You think of Cousins especially. You know, he's shown that he can keep that consistency right the way through a tournament across a whole weekend, across two tournaments across a whole weekend.
Feels like around about 18 months with Tom.
I know, yeah.
He's a phenomenal talent and a lovely guy off the table.
Yeah, definitely. He's a good character to have around the tour, and yeah, you can't begrudge anyone having success. I mean, it's the challenge he puts out to all the other players. You know, everyone's got to raise their game to meet the new high standards that we're seeing.
One of my co-commentators this week made a statement and said, "Do you think Tom Cousins is entering the sort of reputation that players like Chris and Mick have had previously, Darren Appleton, you know,
yeah,
where they've got that, I wouldn't say fear factor, because a lot of you guys that are lower ranked don't fear them,
yeah,
but there's just something a little bit special. I always think it's a bit special when you see Chris play and Mick, because they've just been around so long, and Phil Harrison as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, Phil.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's hard to argue against anything like that with Tom because of what he's achieved. Like you said, not just recently, but he's been doing it for 18 months now. You know, it's hard to argue against the fact that even if he's not considered amongst those names yet, it's going to be hard to argue against him being considered sort of in that group later on, because he's doing it consistently over a long period of time, and it's hard to see him not carrying on winning tournaments for a longer period of time. You know, whether it'll tail off a bit and you might have a little bit longer in between tournament victories, but he's just so consistent and ruthless with it. Yeah, it's hard to argue against that.
You just feel that, I don't know this for sure, but when the players look at the draw, maybe they're a little bit relieved if he's not around them, you know, in that area.
I don't know. I think if players do think that, it's the wrong attitude.
Oh, absolutely.
I think if you you know, everyone's got to turn up to these events wanting to win it. You know, even if no matter how much of a chance you give yourself, if you're not here to have a go at winning it, what are you here for? And to win a tournament, you've got to beat the best players, whether it's first round or final. You have to beat them. So Yeah, at the end of the day as well, when you're at the table, it doesn't matter who's sat in the chair. You're at the table. They can't influence what you're doing. You just concentrate on your own game, and if your own game's good enough in that event consistently, like we talked about, then you'll give yourself a chance of winning it. And he's a great player in his own right. He's won a challenger event previously, and he knows how to play the game. He knows what he's doing. And if Tom's not on top of his game, then Hitton's going to have a great chance of winning.
And we've seen Tom depart from Pro Series 4 already, so he's not going to be winning that. He's going to be focused on this evening. Action to start. Well, we were scheduled for the semi-final at 6:30. I do believe that's still the case. But as I said before, we are ahead of schedule on the main, so maybe worth just checking if you are wanting to tune in and watch the end of Pro Series 3. While we were chatting away, Dom did counter clear and level things up.
Yeah, Neil's had a very good break this frame. We've got a fantastic layout here. Absolutely no work to do.
It's amazing with the break. Most of my matches are table 2. I've done a couple on the main, one on table 3, and you speak to all the players and I'm amazed by the saying the difference in the break. This one seems to be breaking the best.
Oh really?
Out of them all.
I see this.
And I can never understand why, because the conditions are all exactly the same.
Yeah, my 2 matches on here, I struggled with the break on here compared to, certainly the back table. I've not been on the main or table 3 this one, but yeah, I struggled a bit on here for some reason. Not so much getting the balls moving, I just couldn't get one down. I was still getting them moving, but
Yeah, that's what I meant.
yeah.
And all the referees, people look at eyes on them, but they all swap around as well.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand. Same table, same conditions, same ball, same cloth, everything, and
Yeah.
sometimes just tables play slightly different. So you can't explain it.
Yeah, and well, Neil's taking full advantage of a good break this one. Absolutely perfect layout, and he's took them out nicely.
Yeah, nice and simple. For the man from Stoke, former world number 1. Yeah, another rule set.
Really good break.
Yeah, just the one yellow or red causing an issue. If he does choose red, he can develop straight away. Yeah, just watch this yellow nestle up to the red after kissing the 8. Yeah, he's got an opportunity here. Just play this one to the bottom right and maybe nudge it out, or will he consider yellows? Oh, I think it's going to be reds. Oh, of course it's going to be yellows. I noticed how quiet you went then, Lewis.
Well, it was difficult to... Oh, it's gone all right. Yeah, it was difficult to work out whether he was too straight to play the shot he's just played, but obviously he managed to play it with a little bit of top and left-hand side, and he's managed to generate the angle just to disturb it nicely. So that yellow touch in the red almost, it does still go to the bottom right. So the only sort of awkward ball now is the 8 ball. He's got to make a decision whether he's going to leave it there and play it down the rail, or try and give it a nudge later on.
Yeah, I think we'll see him leave it. Can't see any point in trying to disturb it. It's not a double, and if you get right behind it, you're not going to miss it.
Yeah, no, he's got... okay, he's going to take out these bottom 2 and work his way back up.
I mean, imagine being the opponent when Dom's got his back to you and all you can read is #TeamBlessed. I mean, it's a bit demoralising, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's so true as well.
Fantastic. Anything but straight is okay. Well, even straight's okay.
Yeah, he's just looking there. He just wants to leave finish about the bulk line, so he can just pop his last yellow to the top right. Just float the cue ball across. Doesn't want to have to stun it or anything like that. floats across there and he's on it perfectly down the rail.
Confident cueist, 2-all incoming, surely. I'm not going for a world record of how long you can keep the cue ball spinning, I'm sure.
Yeah, and obviously Neil's one of the few players that puts his hand on the table when he breaks as well. Does shorten that drawback considerably.
That was really good. Obviously you can see the cue ball spinning, but very precise. Good contact. And controlled the white ball really, really well. Yeah, I just feel there that if you're going to put your hand on the table, I mean, he only puts it behind the line by an inch, but I'd be right on the line.
Yeah.
You really want to use that extra space as much as you can. I understand the hand on the table helps with accuracy. We see Carl Boys use it.
Yeah.
And there's no doubt you've got more control, but use as much space as you can, surely, Lewis.
Yeah, personally, I like to have that distance. I think most players do, but I think Neil perhaps is in the camp of he prefers to have that sort of that compact nature of having your hand on the table, having a shorter drawback, and just trying to generate the power with that without that long drawback. Someone like, I mean, you look at Melling's break at the minute; it's working so well. He draws the cue right back to the bulk cushion, powers right the way through. Whereas Raybone's drawback's probably about 3 or 4 inches shorter. Still generating plenty of power though, and perhaps he feels that because it's a shorter drawback and he's a lot more compact, he can keep that accuracy while still getting the power.
It's all about finding that fine balance on the break, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's just one. It's one where every player's got to sort of experiment with their own technique and how much power they can generate as to what works for them. 'Cause what works for one player perhaps won't work for another one. He's just caught that shot a bit wrong there. He wanted to develop the yellow, but cue ball just arced a bit too much, so he's got a bit of work to do now. Not sure if he can come straight back now and do it. Yeah, gotta go, but it's not landed nice for him. Great cut that was. Slightly fortunate for the cue ball. Not to go, maybe it would have been lucky for the cue ball to go in, to be fair, but does that yellow pass the reds to the top left? It doesn't look happy, so I'm going to stick my neck out and say it doesn't go. I don't think it does. He's looking at the double there. That is unlucky not to have a shot, actually, to be fair. Went the aggressive option, cut the yellow in, and didn't get the fortune.
Yeah. To attempt a high tariff double. It's just got a little bit of work here. I think we will see him attack. If the right hand red of the two in the breaking area passes to the top left, it makes it an awful lot easier. If it doesn't, he's going to land on the other one and get round the back. Sort of thread the needle a little bit.
Yeah, he's got obviously the red covering the bottom pocket, he's got a degree of safety. He might use that to go up. It looks like he's tried to play the red to the middle, but I think he's a bit straight. Doesn't want to leave the one over the pocket till last if he is going to go out.
Yeah, just off straight the wrong side. And there you can see it doesn't pass the one in the breaking area, I don't think. No, I don't think it does. I mean, you can use the yellow. He's got to go up now, has he?
Well, I mean, I originally said he didn't want to leave the bottom red till last, but maybe if he thinks the black might sneak in the middle, you perhaps could. Or use it to come around the angles.
Yeah, they always look very, very easy on the screen from this. Yeah. Where the camera is, the black to the middle, but it's actually a bit tighter than it seems.
I mean, obviously, it's going to be his last ball now. Obviously, he can go around the back of the yellow, swing it round off two, and have the the 8 into the bottom right as well if he wants to. So
Wow.
whatever he sees.
This looked very tight. That looked really, really tight. I think I do need to go Specsavers, Lewis. Oh, we need a bigger screen.
Both probably.
Of course it goes. Of course it goes.
Right, so he's finished low on the red.
Yeah, it looks like he's eyeing it up to the centre.
Yeah, he obviously feels it does drop in comfortably. It's difficult to tell from these camera angles. I think sometimes you look at them and think that looks really tight, but from that angle it looks very, very comfortable.
Well, he's landing on it very well indeed. I would say I'd start giving up calling whether balls go or not, but unfortunately it's just part of what we have to do as Dom Cooney gets the lead. Praying for a ball and eyeing up 4-2, and that was not a well hit break at all.
He didn't catch that front ball flush, did he, on that one, like he has done with his other two?
No, he'd be disappointed.
You can see the cue ball just going off to the side. Still got the power through the pack, but I think if you don't catch that front ball flush, you're much less likely to make a ball, I think.
I don't know, I think matches, I agree with you, but matches tend to follow patterns, and I've done one this weekend where I think it was on the first day, if you hit them flush and opened them all up, you were guaranteed not to make a ball. And if you hit the break, you got one every time. And this happened for 13 in a row. It was ridiculous. What makes pool so interesting to watch is there's so many factors that come in, and there is an element of luck, and I think that adds to the entertainment of the game. I really do.
Yeah, definitely. There's a factor with pool where you can hit the break absolutely flush and not make a ball, and it is that unpredictability that keeps it interesting.
And also having gotten to know all your professionals, I know how annoying you all find it when you sit in your chair and you see your opponent hit the break, get a ball, and they land plumb.
Yeah.
You know, we should have a camera on you at all times.
Oh, you'd see some bad faces, I'm telling you. The worst one is when your opponent breaks dry and they get the worst split ever, and there's clusters everywhere and everything like that, whereas they spend all the rest of the match making balls and getting dolly clearances. That's the worst one. I'm seething when that happens. Shanker break dry and leave nothing.
It's very easy, these guys that are masters at the game, and they say, look, it's just a game of opportunities. If you get 7 chances, you should win the game. But that's very easy to say. But when you're out there and all these factors are at you, and some of them are going against you, maybe 2 or 3, and the emotions running through you, it's hard to deal with.
Yeah.
It really is, because it means so much.
It's especially frustrating when it's the couple of matches that I've lost this weekend. I didn't get 7 chances. It felt like hitting the break good and they're not going down. And you sat there sort of thinking there's not a lot you can do. You do feel a bit helpless at times out there, and it's a bit of a lonely place when the only opportunities you're getting is the break, and you're hitting them good and they're not going down. And
well, at least if you made an error, you'd forget about it quickly. Cue ball airborne. Seen that a lot the last 2.5 days. Well, Dom Cooney has had the favour of his dry bait returned.
Yeah, Neil not catching the front ball flush either. You see the cue ball come over to the side, actually hitting below the middle. You don't very often see that, and yeah, not making a ball because of it. So
yeah, it just arced. He's played just above centre on the cue ball. The cue ball's jumped, and then the top spin's kicked in and just arced its way below the centre pocket. Like you said, very unusual to see that.
Yeah, this middle pocket area looks a bit fiddly, but I think it's actually okay. All the balls sort of do connect, and he's just got to get out from this first shot. Yeah, he obviously doesn't feel like he's got the angle.
Trying to get down for this one. Over the centre, is he? I mean, he hit it so positive. I thought maybe he's going for the one bottom left, but surely it's the one over the pocket here.
Well, I think that the red that's next to yellow is his last ball now, so he's obviously get this one down the rail, red to the left middle, and then red bottom left with the red over the right middle as his last ball.
Yeah, they looked quite tricky at first glance, but actually they connect quite well.
Yeah, I think it was getting the cue ball to where he's got it now is the key. That sort of unlocks it all now. Now it's just a case of getting the right angles. He wants to be straight on this red.
Yeah, we didn't really give him his dues there on that last shot, which he played off the top cushion so positively. He was only a small window, sort of 6 to 8 inches. It was very well played. And he's got enough angle here as well to use the top cushion. Or maybe just drop it in.
I think he'll just kiss the yellow, I think.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
And no work to do with this, just drop this in. Red over the pocket. Tricky little shots these though, because obviously although the difficulty of the shot's not necessarily hard, with the red being so close to the pocket, the fact that you've got to drag it in almost just adds an element to it.
Doesn't dragging it in make the pocket a little bit bigger? I've heard players say that to me. That's not me, by the way.
Well, the lack of pace obviously helps. By the time obviously the pace has come off the cue ball from the drag shot, obviously the red's got a higher percentage chance of going in because you're dragging it in. It just slides in. But there, whether he played that plain ball, I think I would have played that with a tracer right just to check the cue ball, to kill the pace a little bit. Looks like Dom played it plain ball there, but every player's going to see it differently. But he managed to just pull the cue ball up in time and still get the finish.
Yeah, and we'll see him bullet this into the bottom left.
Let's see if Dom flushes his front ball.
No, lost it again, but this time he has made a couple, and well, look at the reds.
Hitting the front ball flush is overrated, isn't it?
Well, he's got two together at the top, but yeah, you know, these are the sort of splits you hope for. I think they are going to need a nudge. I don't think he can drop on one to the top right, or maybe he can.
Yeah, I don't know if he can just sort of bring the cue ball down and on sort of like the cushion 6 inches down and play the bottom one to the top right. Not sure. If not, he might have to just disturb them. Yeah, he's just given a flick.
How well has he played that?
He's judged that really well. Still got to play another cannon here though. He's going to be flicking off the second red.
Yeah, this is frame ball, you feel, for Dom.
Yeah.
This goes right, he'll fancy them.
Yeah, judged that really well.
Well, he's got to leave distance on his next one.
Yeah, I think that's okay. Dom's a very good curiosity. He won't be too worried about leaving the distance if he needs to.
Yeah, but he's not the biggest of guys, and he's at full stretch bridging over. Doesn't have to do anything with the cue ball, like you said, though.
Yeah, and this shot here, Dom will know that this shot's the frame ball shot. Basically, make this get back in position, and your last three shots are nice and easy. Dom's a confident player. He backs himself over distance like this, so he won't be faced by taking on a longer shot.
Yeah. Twice in 27 minutes you have managed it, Lewis. Well, between us.
Oh dear. Hope Dom don't watch this back.
Wasn't a certainty, like you said. It all stemmed from that previous cannon where he was forced into playing a shot full stretch and had to leave distance.
Yeah, it's one of them. If he was just a bit straighter on that red, he could have obviously brought the cue ball down the left hand side of the table, but just had a bit too much angle, so had to leave himself the shot of a distance, and it's given an opportunity for Neil to get back on level terms. Developed that yellow nicely, previous shot, so he's got no difficult shots here. Black right over the middle pocket. It's got the feel of a match that's going the distance.
Yeah, it certainly has. I think that comes from the fact that whoever's been in first hasn't always taken them. We've had a couple of reverse dishes, but there has been errors. The scoreline being very close in the first 8. And yeah, you do get that feeling, but I mean, at the moment, these two have still got 11 minutes of what I call comfortable pool. Say the scoreline's 7-3, you win 7-3. That's 10 frames in 40 minutes if you get rid of the last 10 minutes, and that's a pretty 4 minutes of frames enough.
Yeah, it should be.
Average frame time's 3.5 minutes at ultimate pool,
Is
I
it?
reckon. Yeah, well, that's just my opinion. We haven't got stats, but
I'll be interested to know the stats
having done a
now.
lot go, it's about 3.5, 4 minutes, I'd say. And then you get the odd, sort of Cole Bedford clearance in about 14 seconds or something. Ridiculous.
I think Mellon's on a mission to bring that average time right down this
he's
weekend.
right on. After losing in the first event, he's just gone all out, hasn't he? I love it when you see him play like that. A little bit of anger in him.
Yeah.
Wish you saw more of it from, players like Jordan. Jordan used to play like that. He slowed up a little bit. He's definitely really, really fast. We like watching sort of Tom Jones and players.
Yeah.
An amazing amount of talent at Ultimate Pool. Wow, look, the sort of these breaks are making your job very easy, Lewis, aren't they?
Yeah, well, there's not really a lot to say on them, is there?
No. He's got a bit of work here, but
I think just get the cue ball back out to the middle of the table, and then you're there, aren't you? There we go. This doesn't really matter which order he takes the bottom ones in, really.
That black's bitten over that centre pocket in I think three or four frames.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, no, he's okay. I just thought when he died off the bottom cushion, when he hit it, I thought.
Yeah, I still thought he was going to take the one to the middle there, actually, unless it was perhaps thinner than what it looked on the screen. I still thought he might take the one to the middle and just float the cue ball down, but
it just died off the bottom cushion. It was because of the spin he put on the cue ball,
Yeah.
obviously, but the pace he played it, I thought.
yeah, he's all right here, though.
Just teasing us.
It's just, he wanted to give us something to talk about. Just as we said, there was nothing to talk about.
Just have to be quiet for a bit. Give it a minute. Excellent. Oh, I thought he was going to be very unlucky, and he has to some extent. Cue ball landing right down here at the bottom right hand side of the table.
Yeah, and the 8 ball's heavily tied up.
Now, in years gone by, you would then say, obviously, yellows. You want to be yellows, you want to be yellows, but at this rule set, it doesn't make too much difference. Because you've got to play a shot either way, whichever colour set you play.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, obviously, he's got to make a decision on the best ball to develop the 8 ball. If it plants, then he might decide to go yellows. It looks like he's having a go at reds.
Yeah, I was teeing you up a bit there, Lewis, because it was going to be reds. You didn't take the bait. I'm very disappointed. You like to sit on the fence, and I'm not having any more of that for the next 17 minutes.
I do like to sit on the fence.
You do. I'm not having it. You keep looking at me when I get it wrong, and I'm not bothered because I'm used to it. Well, I can imagine, since you're staying very quiet again, I think he may be planning on playing the red off the yellow into the corner and trying to open it all up.
Yeah, I think that's his plan. I mean, obviously, the thing with that is he's got to...
Cushion yellow pocket, maybe, Lewis? Hits the jaw.
Yeah, the only thing is he doesn't want to leave it to last, obviously, so he's got to scoop. If he's going to play that, he's got to put this red to the top right and come back and play it next.
Yeah.
That's what he's looking at.
Lewis staying well and truly on the fence. I have to get one right,
Yeah, it's perfect for it.
All right. Okay. Very good.
Yeah, it's perfect. He's just got to make sure he brings that 8 ball out and clears it. Doesn't want to
The thing
get
is,
stuck in.
he's got to play it very hard, but he doesn't want to bring the cue ball back too far. Yeah, had to play it hard. So
See, that's kind of why I sat on the fence. 'Cause I felt the yellow. I didn't know if the yellow was down too far for it.
you know what you are? You're an evaluating commentator.
Well, I think that shot was the right shot. It's just a case of whether the yellow was down a bit too far away from the pocket to make it easy or not.
Yeah, he had to hit it very, very hard, harder than he did.
Yeah, and that's where I think that you're then into sort of percentages of what are the odds of getting it, because now he's at the point where he hasn't got it. You should lose the frame now from this position.
Yeah,
I didn't know whether because the yellow and the 8 ball were a plant. The yellow that's near the red at the top was the only difficult yellow, but it still went to top left.
Do you think he made the right decision in going game? Or do you think that decision was made for him when he picked his colour set?
I think, yeah, going red, you had to go for it. I still think the yellows were potentially a legitimate option because they were a plant. They were a set plant. You can offset hitting the 8 ball. So you're not gonna the yellow that you plant onto the 8 ball is not gonna get stuck onto it because you can offset it. So as long as you pick your pattern and go the right order, I think yellows had potential. I don't know if he had an opening shot on yellows. Having said that, though, I can't remember from the start. He was right in the pocket, so he probably didn't have one.
Short-term memory is bad.
It is terrible.
Just missed a little bit there as well. With Neil did play the loss of turn. Dom got out of it and he tied the 8 ball up, left the cue ball right on the bottom cushion, and I mean it's just delayed his pain a little bit. Dom here gonna have a swipe at this, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll test the reputation of Team Blessed.
More prayers needed.
Yeah, and Neil's just having a look at that yellow next to the 8. If it goes bottom right, this layout's not a problem.
Oh, wow. Well, it's not all bad news, but it was a ball you never expect Neil Raybone to miss, and hasn't missed throughout this match.
Yeah, that's a very unexpected. He must have just took his eye off it. You'd never expect a player like Neil to miss a shot like that. And I mean, to be fair, Tom's left with not a good layout.
I think he's already had a look at this 8 ball, but he's missed the red. I think he has. It wasn't a gimme. Now, Neil will have come round to have a look at this one next to the 8 to see if it goes to the bottom right. If it doesn't, then it will need a nudge.
Yeah, and if he's got an angle to nudge it now.
There you go, that's what he's looking at. If it does go, there's no need to move it.
Yeah, I think he's got to be sure on it because.
Well, that tells me it probably does go.
Yeah, it's definitely got to go now. I'd like to have been maybe a fraction straighter. Play this with a bit of side just to hold the cue ball and.
A roll short, but he's okay, I think. Can drop this in. Being high on this yellow is probably better. So much so he's taking it now.
Yeah, it must go comfortably then.
And that's okay. Especially with that yellow over the pocket. He's just got to watch the one he's playing now, where it's going to go.
Yeah, he wants to be hitting that yellow full ball. At worst, really. So he's played it away.
Yeah, took the look out of the shot, didn't he? And although he's not on a ball, this is a comfortable plant. Table 3 action has just ended. The very lucky Irishman, Cormac Kerr. Sorry, Cormac, but you did dig your mate out the other day. I asked him what's the best attribute that Stevie Dempsey has, and his answer was luck. Yeah, locked once again. Parity after 10.
That's possibly one of the best to see, apart from the fact the cue ball drew straight back into the corner pocket. Worst time.
It is a mistake.
Yeah, anything where the cue ball goes direct in off the break, you have to say is an error. And the layout is very, very good. Dom just giving it some thought. He knows this is an important clearance at 5-all with his break to come. Again, there's no work to do, there's no clusters, nothing to develop. He's just got to pick his route and keep that cue ball controlled.
It's just been the last, I don't know, eight frames where it's just gone against the break. It's crazy.
Yeah, and especially because at the start they had that few frame period where the breaks were working very well for both of them, and yeah, it's just tailed off a bit. But I think that's the worst thing that could have happened for Neil, getting the split that he had with the cue ball going down.
Just gonna watch the transition here. I'm just about to enter 15 seconds. So after he's played this shot, sometimes it can catch you out because players aren't concentrating on the match clock. The referee will have announced it.
Yeah, he's just got to drift by this yellow here. He's played it with a bit of pace, in fact.
It's okay though. Go around the back of the yellow or just drop it in and play the 8 in the middle. There we go. That is absolutely fine. Bit of right hand side, keep him away. Nice straight 8. And once again, against the break, Dom Cooney is just one away.
Ooh.
He has made a ball. And how decisive might that be?
Yeah, and I think Dom might have even just put his hand up there. See the cue ball going down towards the pocket and that yellow coming round and just nudging it off it.
It needed 3 kisses to go in. Yeah, crazy.
He's got a great opportunity now though. Let's just sort the 2 out, sort this red to the top left and get that top red out of the way. 8-ball's just gone to that right hand side again, but it doesn't go to the middle this time, it's in the side cushion, so he's got to make a decision whether he's going to move that or land on it.
Yeah, and I don't think he'll be leaving the one over the right middle till last, because it's just the wrong side of the centre pocket, so coming back for it now.
He needs a bit of a bounce, just a bit of a thin snick now. Just go into the yellows just to hold the cue ball. As he decides to dig down and screw across. He's played it a bit side to make the angle wider. He could finish low on this red to the bottom right next, and then use it just to nudge the black over the right middle and still land on the red to the left corner. I think that's going to be the shot he's looking at. Oh, he's decided to move the 8-ball there.
Took a little bit of a risk, but was always going to be on this red to the bottom right.
Oh, and the red still goes to the right middle.
Yeah, bit of a bonus. I'm sure Neil Raybone will not be feeling great sat in his seat, given the pattern of the previous 10 frames.
Yeah, Dom's just managed to find an extra gear in his last 2 and almost steal it from Neil Raybone, you feel.
Well, amazingly, if this 8 drops, it was the first break and finish of the whole match. And he has made it, and it's Dom Cooney who is going through to the quarter-final to play Cormac Kerr tomorrow.